In part one of my conversation with Christian Kenny, we opened a file on creativity, symbolism, and the unusual path that led to Killer Kards Tarot. But our conversation wasn't finished, because there's a difference between talking about the meaning we find in symbols and actually putting yourself inside the experiment. At one point, Christian introduced me to the tarot calculator on his website. You enter something incredibly ordinary, your birthday. And in return, you're given a birth card, a life path, and a ruling planet. So naturally, I had to try it. And what came next raised a question I wasn't expecting to explore when we started this interview. When a symbolic system tells us something about ourselves, why does it sometimes feel so important? Today, we are reopening file INT-003, and this time, I'm becoming part of the file. Access granted. File type, interview. Archive ID, INT-003, Part 2. Subject, Christian Kenny. Classification, creator interview. Status, reopened. This file is open.
Welcome to Dark Character Profiler. Take a deep dive into the background and personalities of villains from books, video games, manga, and comics. Psychological analysis of some of the most deviant and heinous characters of all time. Now, here's Fulcrum.
Every story has a villain, but not every villain is simple. Here, we go beyond good and evil to ask harder questions. What shaped them? What broke them? And at what point does survival become monstrosity?
Dark Character Profile.
Listener discretion is advised. This episode includes discussions of severe psychological trauma, violence, abuse, and exploitation. All analysis is presented for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional diagnosis, psychological treatment, or medical advice. The material is examined analytically and without glorification, but it may still be distressing. If you need to pause, skip, or step away, please do so.
Dark Character Profile.
Section 5, Tarot, Symbolism, and Meaning. So we're kind of revisiting.
Mm-hmm.
Tarot is one of those subjects that tends to generate strong reaction. For someone who's never explored it before, how would you explain what it actually is?
Tarot is not magic. It's a paper box with paper cards that have images on them. That's all it is.
I mean, but like how it works and all that.
So it's a tool, just like you use a calculator to do math, a ruler to measure inches, and a car to get from point A to point B. The tool does not work unless you're using it, right? So you need to know how to use a calculator, how to drive a car, and to use those tools. It's the same thing with tarot. It works the exact same way. The tarot holds astrological meaning. It holds symbolical meaning, numerological meaning, and archetypical meaning. And if you know how to read those, they can give you those answers to those questions. You can develop the skill of being able to answer those questions without tarot after doing it for a very long time, like I have. It ultimately actually comes from you. You're the one with the energy that is actually answering these questions. The cards aren't answering the questions. The cards are just there almost like a training wheels, right? Some people will use them forever, but some people don't. Then they stop using them and they realize that they can do it without the cards. The best way to just answer it, it's just a tool. That's it. It's just a tool. And it's like a training tool.
So I know you said one misconception, but what do you think are the biggest misconceptions people have about tarot? So like you said, it's not magic, obviously.
It doesn't hold energy, right? So when you get a brand new tarot deck, it doesn't hold energy. especially when you're looking at something like Killer Kards. Killer Kards is a true crime deck, right? So somebody
Mhm.
who's not into true crime might see that and be like, oh my God, this is horrifying. Why would I ever want this kind of energy in my house? And the truth is that it's not carrying any energy.
Yeah.
You have to put the energy into it and you have to put the intentions into it. And if that's how you're thinking, maybe, not maybe, I'm not going to use maybe, scratch that. It's definitely 100%. If that's how you're thinking, you should buy that deck because that
Mhm.
means that you have some kind of shadow work that needs to be done within you. And that deck will actually help you tremendously. So if something's triggering you, especially when it comes to tarot,
Mhm.
and you explore that, it's great for personal growth. It's great. It's great in so many different levels, right? If that's really bothering you, I would implore you to actually go out and purchase it. Not because I want your money or I want you to buy my deck,
Yeah.
but because there's something there that needs to be explored, right? There's something that needs to be explored.
I will say the cards are absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Like, they're, I mean, I looked at them and I was like, they were a little like, I had to like force them apart a little
Yeah, they're
bit.
hand dipped.
Yeah. But I was like, these are amazing. And
Yeah,
I've
we hand
never,
dipped the edges in like a sparkly red-ish gild.
yeah.
So like when you hand dip cards in a sparkly gild, they stick together the first time and you have to take them apart.
Mhm.
But what's cool about that is some people see that and they're like, "Oh, these are piece of shit cards." Like, no, that's it's hand dipped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. But the cool thing about that is the first reading that you do is really cool because you might pull a card and ask the question, and then you pull that card and you get an answer, but then you have like a further question on that question, and you realize that there's another card behind that card stuck, and then you have your answer, and it's like kind of like magical,
Yeah.
in a sense, it's just cool.
Yeah. Do you view tarot primarily as a predictive system, a symbolic system, a psychological tool, or something else, or all of the above?
It has aspects of all of the above, but ultimately it's a symbolic tool.
Why do you think human beings are so naturally drawn to symbols?
The human brain at its base level it's a pattern machine. This means this, that means that at the basic level. You touch the stove is hot. The pattern is when you touch the stove, you get burned. You
Yeah.
remember that. Your stomach starts hurting, you feel pressure in your butthole. You have to go to the bathroom, right? This is
Yeah.
at the simplest level.
Yeah.
This is how a baby's brain works. Yeah, at the essential basic level, it's all pattern recognition, right? So of course it's going to be.
Do you think people understand themselves through stories more than through facts?
What's a fact?
I don't know, like a fact about yourself. I don't know.
That's my point, though. It's like
Yeah.
people have different truths.
Yeah.
The word fact is very convoluted. You could say that it's a fact that the sky is blue, and you could say that no, actually, it's a fact that the sky is white. And both people could be right, right? It's their
Mhm.
own truth. So it's a very rough
Ne-
answer. You know what I'm saying? It's
Neil
very difficult.
deGrasse Neil deGrasse Tyson has an explanation. I, I've heard it many times. I can't even articulate it. It has to do with the sun. That's all I know. So there's a fact.
Yeah, yeah. It's difficult because and I know people articulate this. It's a fact. It's a fact that 2 + 2 = 4. Sure, that could be a fact, but there's actually another answer to that. That's also correct. You could say 2 + 2 = a star, and that actually is also a fact. There's
What does
different
that mean?
modalities. There's different kinds of math, and for example, Tesla math, Nikola Tesla's math.
Oh,
Every number equates to a shape, right?
oh, I
And
didn't know that.
you wouldn't be wrong if you said that D4 is a star. The other person will think you're wrong and think that they're right and that their fact is their fact, and you could think the same thing too, right?
Hmm.
It's very convoluted. It's very convoluted. People, there's a lot of established truths that you might be able to agree on as facts, ultimately, but I don't know anything as a fact at all. There's nothing that I know that is a fact.
What roles do symbols play in helping people make sense of their lives?
In making sense about their lives. So basically introspection. Well, we're using the tarot. the symbols in tarot for introspective work is useful because if you have buried those things deep down and you're using a tarot deck to say like, hey, how do I make myself better? And then these symbols come up and they give you these answers. You technically already knew the answer, but now there's this external tool that's giving you the answer, which can help you do something about it. Whereas if you thought about it yourself, you might not have actually taken the action.
Okay, next is the fun part. Section 6. Live Tarot Calculator segment. One thing that caught my attention on your website is the Tarot Calculator. For listeners who haven't seen it, you can enter your birth date and receive a birth card, life path information, and other symbolic associations. I thought it would be fun to try this live and have you walk us through it. Before we put in my information, can you explain what the calculator is actually measuring?
So it is taking your birthday and your birth time and all of your astrological data, and it's using a tarot equation to come up with there's two different calculators, two different answers, which is your birth cards, which can only be a major arcana, and your soul card, which can only be a minor arcana. And the soul card is ultimately who you deepest are as a person. And then your birth cards are almost like a layout of things in your life, how your life is going to be, and things in your life that like lessons and aspects and growth factors and stuff like that. They could both calculations can be used for infinite things. How I like to see it is like, you know, your birth card is like almost explaining like a layout of your life, whereas like your soul card is more of explaining like who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And this is completely free for anybody who wants to use it. Like we don't charge for this.
Oh, right. Yeah. All you got to do is go to the website and then put an email address in. Okay, so the daily tarot reading.
That's random. You scroll down, that's the actual calculator after that.
Yeah, I know. I was just curious about it. The World, William Bonin. Who is that?
A killer.
Few details.
Not a very well known killer, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The world represents completion, accomplishment, and the fulfillment of a long journey or goal. Interesting. Okay, let's do it. So this is for the birth card.
Mm-hmm.
Reveal. Revelio.
There you go. So the top card is your soul card, and then the
Okay.
two bottom ones is your birth cards. So your top card is the sum of 59. So that's what everything comes out to when you add up your birthday, right? So and then we break that
Oh.
down again, and that's how you get the birth cards, which I can't exactly see the birth cards on my screen. It's cut out a little bit.
So the soul card is the Five of Swords, which is
Mm-hmm.
David Berkowitz. Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the that so
Crime
that
scene
image that's on there
investigation.
is a illustration of photographs that we found in his files of the police actually investigating his car.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's cool. So what does this numerology sum mean? You might
meaning
have
if you
already
take
explained it,
so
but like
you
what
you
is
take
the
your month,
significance?
you take your month, which is 5 plus
Mm-hmm.
the day plus the year,
Mm-hmm.
and it equals 59. And then to get your birth cards, you would then add 5 plus 9, and then that's how you would get the Hierophant and Temperance. Five of
Oh.
Swords is I don't want because there's like I could talk for like an hour about each card, so I'm just going to give
Yeah.
like the best advice for the card. And when it comes to the Five of Swords, the best advice is this worth the damage it may cause? So it's like going through actions when you're about to do something. Maybe ask yourself, is this worth the damage it may cause? Is this worth the result that might happen? Is this
Mm-hmm.
worth the outcome right before actions? Which means you could be impulsive at you when you're not your best self. You could be a little bit impulsive.
Okay. And what about how do you say that?
Hierophant?
Hierophant?
The Hierophant, yes. I'm probably
Okay.
saying it wrong too. Honestly, I have really bad speech problems.
Hey, I'm gonna trust you. So what is that one symbolize, I
The
guess?
Hierophant is rules, institution, religion, spirituality. In a bad sense, it's like breaking tradition, questioning authority, rejecting old beliefs, which is not really a bad thing if it depends on the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the good sense, it's like following tradition, seeking wisdom, learning
Okay.
guidance, seeking help, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, so when I say at your worst, it means like this could be something that you actually do, and this could be something that you've already overcome. So this is like maybe like, hey, maybe you have a trouble asking for help, or maybe that's something that you've overcome and you don't deal with that issue anymore.
Yeah.
And then if
I have
you
learned to
ask for
ask
help,
for help
yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
need it.
So, and then if you transition into your second card, which is Temperance, it's all about, if you look at the cups, right? It's like balance, right?
Uh-huh.
Balance in moderation, in blending things together in the right way. In a good sense, it's like healing, patience, self control. In the reverse meaning, it's just imbalance, overdoing something, extremes, no self control.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll move on to the life path.
Number,
Ooh.
yeah, which is the same number as your birth card.
Okay. The
You're a five.
explorer.
Mhm.
You are adventurous and freedom loving. Your path involves experiencing life fully and embracing change. Your key traits: adventurous, free spirited, curious, and dynamic. What does that mean, dynamic?
Oh, like multidisciplinary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Okay. That's
And that
kind
could
of.
that could manifest in so many different ways. A lot of people hear the word adventure and they're like, "Oh, go hiking." Like, no, that's not adventure.
No.
It could quite literally mean going in and playing a video game and having an adventure in a video game. That's literally like
Yeah.
it's the same exact meaning. Like, because you
Like
won't
I
catch
do
me
that all the
hiking a
time.
mountain, you know, but you'll catch me hiking a mountain in a video game. Sure, yeah.
Right. It I do that all the time in video games. Like
Yeah.
cuz I play Destiny
Open
and
world.
yeah, I love open world games. Destiny's pretty much the only first person shooter I will play though. And then I've started a replay through The Witcher 3 because of the new DLC that's coming out that will bridge the gap between The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 4.
Mhm.
So I'm redoing that, which I haven't played in like 2 weeks. So I should probably play that again or continue on with it. Okay, let's do this one. Finding your ruling planet.
And this goes by your name.
Yes. Find my planet. Oh,
So your first name is ruled by Uranus, and your last name is
is
also ruled
also.
by Uranus. Both your names together is ruled by Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is luck, growth. Jupiter's great. Uranus is rebellion, disruption, unpredictability, right? And now
Mhm.
is that your maiden last name, or is that your married last name?
That's my maiden. I never changed my name.
Interesting. So let's put in your married last name and see what would happen if it changes.
Ah,
Interesting, right? So maybe it's a good thing you didn't change your last name.
I don't know what that means. What does that
Well,
mean?
it's Uranus. So if you did change your last name, your total name would be ruled by rebellion and change.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, what
Well, it
did
all
you
depends. It all depends on aspects, right? Because like Uranus is good, Jupiter, they're all good, but like it's like
Yeah.
aspects, you know.
What did you say Jupiter was again?
Jupiter is luck,
Oh,
growth,
right.
wisdom, taking risks, attracting abundance.
Okay. That's cool. This was like a
Mhm.
cool little thing. I like it.
Yeah,
And
it's fun.
so like every single time I come in here, if I were to do it again, it would give me the same results.
Yeah, it's a math equation, so you're going to get the same results every time. The only thing that you're
Interesting.
not going to get the same answer
Is
for is the
this
daily random card draw.
right? Okay, so I guess with all of that we just did, how should someone who goes in, like, without, you know, doing it live or, whatever, how should somebody interpret this information?
Everything that we spoke about.
Yeah, like if it say, I say my husband wanted to do it, how should he interpret
Wanted
the
to
information?
wanted to use the calculator or use tarot
The calculator.
calculator.
Yeah.
It's like you know, like I was kind of saying a little bit before, is like we know certain aspects about ourselves that need to be worked on or improved on, or things that we need to grow as in as just being a human being, and the comfortability aspect of that and how our brain works is our brain wants to protect us and make us comfortable, so it
Mhm.
hides those things, and by using these tools you can reveal them to yourself even though you already know the information. It's just revealing it to yourself in a different way with a tool that could kind of shed light on it and give you a helping hand in getting to where you need to go. Just like I said before, it's a tool. You need to go to work, right? So you're going to need your car, and your car, it doesn't work without you. So you need to get in your car in order to get to work, and you need to drive it. Same thing with a tire deck.
Okay. What aspects of these systems do you find most valuable?
Exactly what I just said, actually. Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Fair answer.
I had another answer, but really, I think the most valuable is how I just explained it. That's
Yeah.
got to be the most valuable, right? Because that's like
Yeah.
the most important work that we can do.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like we kind of already answered this, but so from what I understand, you kind of see these results as providing a framework for reflection, not necessarily in describing a person, but more of like
Yeah, but
reflecting on.
even describing a person is reflection, right?
Yeah.
So, so yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had someone receive results that led to a particularly interesting conversation or insight?
Yeah, but it usually is something that comes later on, right? Like,
Hmm.
happens all the time actually, but like, something because like somebody will ask a question about like a guy that they're dating or something, and we'll get an answer, and, they may not hold true at that moment, but later on down the line, I'll get like a message and be like, hey, this was right. But yeah, usually all the time, it's a time game, you know?
Okay. Next section, Aurora and predictive systems. So, one project we discussed previously was Aurora. Can you explain what Aurora
Mhm.
is designed to do?
Aurora predicts the capability percentage of a person being capable of a crime, right? Not probability, capability, meaning like certain people are incapable of certain things based on their astrology. And that can be applied to anything. But in this situation, with this software, we're applying it to murder. So to be the capability of being able to take another human being's life. And that boils down to a percentage. And we figured this out through doing calculations of serial killers and calculations of other murderers and crimes that have happened. And we're able to create a percentage of capability. And what this software does and how it's used is by like private investigators, detectives, where if a murder happens, they have a large list of suspects, say 25, and they're not quite sure where to start, and they may have a hunch. And
Mhm.
what they could do is run the information through the software. It'll give them a percentage and rank the percentages from most likely to least likely capability. And then they could say, okay, well, I already had a hunch on this guy and he's number two. So maybe I'll start with him. And if that doesn't work, I'll go to number one. And then if number one doesn't work, I'll go to number three. It's basically triage. So like if if
Hmm.
there's in the hospital, we have triage in the emergency room. It's the same exact concept. So it's not solving the crime. It's helping solve the crime in a faster manner, especially when it comes to murders where the first 48 is the most important.
Right. Okay. What inspired you to begin developing this?
It's just another extension of trying to help out, and helping out is just basically like being useful and creating something that's useful, creating something that can help people. That's, I like doing that. So I mean, when we were doing the tarot deck, there was a lot of things that I noticed, and after we finished the tarot deck after 2 years, I immediately went into developing Aurora, and it definitely surprised me of how well and how useful it actually is. And it's
Hmm.
completely free. We don't charge anybody for it. You do have to be a licensed private investigator or a working detective in order to receive the software, but we do give it away for free.
Okay. One challenge with any predictive system is balancing prediction with human complexity. How do you approach that challenge? Or how did
Well,
you when developing?
because we're not predicting. We're
Right.
it's a very important question, because I got to make clear, it's like it's not prediction, it's
Hmm.
capability, right? So if you have a crime, it's and you could do this without this software, and I'll give it in like a really silly example. If you have a crime where somebody was murdered on the third floor,
Hmm.
and the person who was murdered on the third floor, the only way somebody could have murdered this person is if they went through their window because their door was nailed shut. You have
Jeez.
four suspects. You have four suspects.
Hmm.
One of them doesn't have any legs. He's in a wheelchair. The capability percentage of him actually committing that crime is
It's
super low.
not likely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So it's the same exact concept, but it's done through astrology archetypes and how human archetypes are expressed through astrology.
Hmm. Okay. I know you said it's not about predictability and it's about their capability. So, one, do you think people are more predictable than they would like to believe? And two, same question, but for capability.
Yes and no. I think people are more predictable than they'd like to believe. And I think people are more capable than they would like to believe.
Hmm. Okay. What excites you most about the future of systems like Aurora?
The possibility that these types of systems are more used in the hands of regular people and individuals, sure, because the government, the highest forms of authority, and the richest people in the world all use these systems. I
Hmm.
forgot the name of the gentleman who was probably one of the richest stockbrokers in history. He has a famous quote. I forgot his name. I apologize, but the quote goes,
Oh, it's okay.
"Millionaires don't use astrology; billionaires do." And that's a very good quote, because
Mm.
if you start to learn these systems and you pay attention to like the dates of companies releasing products, the dates of billionaires and billionaires buying stocks and selling the stocks and doing all these things, they all have correlation with astrology.
Next section, human nature. Looking across all of your projects, what question about human behavior keeps pulling you back?
I don't really have any.
That's fair.
It's just, yeah. Human nature is pretty simple to understand.
Yeah. What have your projects taught you about people that you didn't know when you started, if anything?
Some people are really good at acting and wearing masks, and you may think that you have a really good read, and sometimes they just might be a little bit better than you. And by doing the astrology and the calculations behind it, you could kind of reveal that and lift the mask a bit.
Interesting. If there's one thing you wish more people understood about themselves, what would it be?
The capability of how our brain can, when we're not in control of it, program for us, and it may not be in our best interest as far as growth goes, but it will be in the best interest for comfortability. And comfortability isn't always the right choice. I mean, the name of my company is Courage Over Comfort, because I think we should choose courage over comfort every day.
That makes sense. I actually like the reasoning behind the name. Closing. What projects are you most excited about right now? Or what future projects, I guess?
Well, we have the Circuits of Consciousness that'll be coming out in a couple of months. That is we took a supercomputer and I worked with a nuclear physicist who will remain unnamed because he wanted to be anonymous. We built on a Threadripper machine local, and we educated it only on occult systems, astrology, numerology, tarot, and we then gave it all the information possible from history books and news media outlets. And then we let it watch social media and watch people behave on social media and react on social media to certain things. With that information, we then prompted it questions and asked it, how do you see the magician card being relative to society in 100 years? Because the magician card is relative to our society now differently than it was 100 years ago, because 100 years ago we didn't really have technology, so it's different. Still the same meanings and aspects, but relatively there's relative differences. And then it would give us like the information of like, hey, I think it'll be relative in this manner because the way this is going and the projection of this and that and a third will change society in this way, and this might be where it's relative. And the answers were really good. Like it was almost like it was like predicting the future. And then from there, we took all of the information, and I had an artist, Steve, illustrate all the cards, and that's how we came up with the Circuits of Consciousness. The next one after that is the World Stage Tarot, which is the same thing we did with Killer Kards, except they're all influential political figures. So, Kim Jong-un, Xiaoping, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, all very influential figures in the world that we live in, right? Authority and stuff like that. And what else? Then we have a bunch of other projects too that are really exciting, but I can't tell because I don't want anybody coming up from underneath me and stealing it. But
Fair.
because we have had problems with that in the past. But yeah, I think those are two of the most exciting too. They're just interesting. They're different. Nobody's ever done something like that with a supercomputer. People are building supercomputers for other reasons because it's very expensive to build a supercomputer. It costs about $35,000 to build even the basics of a supercomputer. And also the world stage is different because, again, we're the only people to ever create tarot with real people and use their astrology charts to make the matches on the cards. Like we don't pick any of the cards. We just do somebody's birthday's information, and then that's how we get their match to the card.
Where can listeners find you and follow your work?
Sure. My portfolio page, my business page is courageovercomfortco.com. Again, that's courageovercomfortco.com. And then Killer Cards can be found at killercardstarot.com, circuitsofconsciousness.com. And then, social media, Courage Over Comfort on social media, pretty much everywhere except for TikTok. On TikTok, we're Courage Over Comfort 444. And yeah, and all of our social media links are on all of our websites, so pretty easy to find.
Okay, cool. I'll be sure to link those in the description. All right. Christian, thank you for joining me. And
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And to everyone listening, remember, understanding human behavior isn't just about understanding other people. Sometimes it's about understanding ourselves. This interview is complete. I'm Fulcrum. Stay curious.
Dark Character Profiler.
Dark Character Profiler is produced and edited by Fulcrum under Dark Fulcrum Media. If you enjoyed this episode, consider following the show or sharing it with someone who loves psychology, storytelling, and morally complex characters. You can find links, references, and related material in the show notes. Until next time, remember, the most terrifying monsters are rarely born. They're shaped.
Thank you for listening to Dark Character Profiler with Fulcrum. Listen every other Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts.